Craving authentic Mexican flavor? Come to El Nopal, where every bite tastes like home. From sizzling fajitas and street-style tacos to delectable desserts, El Nopal brings the true taste of Mexico to your table. And now, we can bring the fiesta to you. Book the El Nopal food truck for birthdays, weddings, or any special event. And let us serve up tradition on wheels. El Nopal, authentic Mexican food made with love.
Hi, this is Rhonda from Little Clara's Garden. Bulldog fans, nothing says victory like the beauty of fresh flowers. Little Clara's Garden is your hometown flower shop, proudly supporting the South Harrison Bulldogs. From game day spirit bouquets, balloons, and gifts for every occasion, we've got the perfect gift to brighten your day. Stop by Little Clara's Garden, where every arrangement is made with love, just like our Bulldogs play with heart. Little Clara's Garden, growing community, one bouquet at a time.
Okay, this is CF Rainey again here on Sports Central. One of our interviews brought to you by Harrison County Community Hospital. Joined again this week by South Harrison varsity head football coach Chris Schoning. And, Coach, you go down to Polo, which is never an easy place to play, and Grand River Conference game, and just the way that stadium's set up and the way they play. They come in with a lot of different formations and everything, but you get the win 39-8. And I think sixth week in a row since that Putnam game, just giving up one score in a game. Maybe just go over that game and how it looked, because they gave you a lot of different looks from their offense. I mean, a Maryland eye. You don't ever see a Maryland eye with three backs stacked like that. And so they gave you a lot of different looks, and you probably knew coming in that they would do that just about that game in general.
Yeah, no, like you said, Polo is always tough. They're always gritty. Especially going over there, Coach Ross does a great job with those guys. We knew we were going to see a lot of different things, tight splits. You mentioned Maryland Eye, single wing. Then they can even spread it out some if they want to. So we had to be ready for everything. I thought the boys did a good job, especially in the trenches. If you're not ready to, get down and dirty, down in the trenches against Polo, it's going to be a long night. And I thought a lot of the boys did a really good job of just playing really gritty, bringing that intensity from the beginning. But it is always kind of weird, tough going there. You go out for pregame and it's just dead silent. We bumped that game back an hour. And so we were the first ones on the field and there's no one there. It was just a really weird feeling. So I did worry about that a little bit, just kind of throwing us off a little, but I thought the boys handled it really well. I thought we came out. I didn't think we started out slow or anything. I thought we did a good job, bringing the intensity, getting going right away. So overall, I thought, both sides of the ball, I thought special teams did a really good job. I thought all three phases of the game did a really good job Friday night.
And so it's one of those, you come out and you guys kind of do what you wanted to do offensively, I'm sure, which is establish the run. Both running backs, Craig Coffey, Mason Galloway, and then you had some other guys, Brennan Hoover, and some guys that stepped in there on some big runs as well. But what does that do for your team when you can establish that run and that line of scrimmage offensively?
No, it's huge for us. That's the goal every game. We want to get that run game going. We got the backs to do it. We got the line to do it. But then not just that, but it sets up the big plays for us. We were able to set up a couple play action plays. Cale Taggart had a 70-yard touchdown catch. We were able to get Gage Barclay open a couple times on some play action, some screen stuff. So it is very important for us to get that run game going, because it just opens up everything else for us. And then, like you mentioned, we got Brennan Hoover running a little bit, and he'll probably start seeing some more action there. So that's going to be big for us too. People want to key on Cray and Mason, and as they should. So getting Brendan back there and we're able to move Mason around a little bit. We're able to move Cray around a little bit. So that just makes our offense that more explosive. So I thought Brendan did a really good job running for us. I think he had 4 or 5 carries for about 50 yards. So, that's huge when we can add another back there, and people have to worry about someone else too. That's huge for us. And we just got to keep working on our pass game, and able to get that run game established so we can, get those play action passes open.
And so when you look at that, you establish the run. You mentioned play action, and a lot of that goes. Number one, you have to have a line that can block, give your quarterback time. But
Mm-hmm.
maybe talk about the progression of Jet Cornett as a quarterback. We've seen it because obviously this is his first year playing that position. He kind of got thrown into it. It's not like coming into
Right.
this year throughout the summer and everything that you knew, hey, you're going to be our starting
Yeah.
quarterback for the whole year. And you've really seen his growth with in the passing game with the play action passes, selling those fakes, and just what he's come in and done as a senior, moving from wide receiver over to quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely. This was not in the plans. We practiced all summer with him at receiver, which he would have been probably a first team all conference receiver for us. So, yeah, it just, things happen. And, Bryson ended up getting hurt. And so we were able to get Jet in there. And, lucky for us, he's a really good athlete. Um, has done a great job. It took a little bit to see what he could do, kind of pick his strengths, and go from there. But the kid does a phenomenal job. He picks up on things really really quick. The play action stuff he's very good at. He's getting better every single game at selling the run. Early on he was a little quick to try to hurry up and try to get the ball out of his hands really quick. But with the play action, we got to really sell that, and the running backs got to do a good job selling it. And I think that's a part where we've gotten better is just really selling the run, and then Jet's done a great job doing that too. And so yeah, he's come a long way. I still think he's going to keep getting better. We've worked on the pass game a decent amount this week, so. Hopefully against Gallatin, we can kind of show that, and he can kind of show off that skill too a little more with that. But um, the kid can go in shotgun. He can go under center. He understands all the plays. That's the biggest thing for me is that he picked up on the concepts really early, and that was huge because we were either going to be starting from scratch, and it was going to be a pretty base offense, or he was going to be able to pick it up. And I knew that he'd probably be able to pick it up because he's just a smart kid. He understands sports. He's a good athlete, like I said, but he's done a really good job. And I think he's just going to keep getting better from here on out.
And so before we talk about this week's game, maybe talk about that offensive line a little bit, especially offensively. You can't run the ball. I had a son, and I coached Bo when he was in first grade flag football, and I put him on the line. He's like, "Dad, you're coach. Can I run the ball?" And I said, "Buddy, I'm looking at you, and he played for you, and I'm like, you're going to be a lineman probably
Yep.
your entire life." Thankfully, you gave him a chance to run the ball there. His last game as a senior,
Yeah,
score
yeah,
his only
oh, yeah.
touchdown. But those are really unsung heroes. Those guys on that line
Absolutely.
with Ruger Johnson and Nick Mars and Ethan Smith and Teagan Alexander and Joel McCall. Those are
Yeah.
names offensively. You only hear their name
Yeah.
or number if it's a penalty. But those guys, what they've
Right.
done for you this year from those spots that a lot of times people in the stands don't notice what those guys are doing out on the field.
Yeah, absolutely. And they are. You're exactly right. They are the unsung heroes. We got good backs. We do, but they would not be who they are without those guys. And it's so hard. Like you go to the all conference meeting, and it's so hard because you're right. They don't get like a lot of stats, and I mean it's just so hard to talk about. I mean, coaches have to just know how good they are, and our guys do a great job of showing how good they are every single game. Um, like you said, all of them really. Tegan's new at starting anyway at that position, but Gage Barclay also. I mean, he's a glorified offensive lineman. He gets in there too. He's primarily a blocker. He gets to the edge really well for us. Gets those reach blocks for us really well, but. Up front, those guys do such a great job of communicating, and that's why we've been able to. I mean, it probably looks like we're running the same play over and over again, and we are calling that in the huddle. But those guys up front are probably blocking it, 3, 4 different ways. So they do such a good job just communicating. That's the biggest thing with those guys, and they work their butt off in the weight room. They've all kind of bought in. I know that a lot of them lifted together over the summer. They've been lifting together for probably the last 2, 3 years, so they'll even go outside of school and go lift. And they just kind of, I think, built that camaraderie together, and just really have just that what's the word I'm looking for here, CF? It's just that chemistry together where
Yeah.
they know without even talking to each other what needs to happen. And even with our wingbacks, like Gage is also always talking to our wingbacks. Ruger's talking to the wingbacks some on the different blocking schemes. So it's awesome. They do a great job, and I'm really proud of how far these guys have come.
Yeah, and you mentioned Gage Barclay. Throw Camden Eckerson's name in there too, because a lot of
Yeah,
times he's a guy
absolutely.
that doesn't necessarily carry the ball a ton, but he's out blocking the
Right.
edge out there, and
Yep.
so those things don't work without guys getting a hat
Right.
on a hat and getting a block. And you mentioned different fronts they're seeing. They have to communicate if it's a 4-man front, an odd
Right.
man front, where the linebackers are getting up to that second level. So a lot of thought goes into those run plays from a lineman
Yeah,
standpoint.
absolutely.
So let's
Right.
get to this
Yep.
week's game. So final regular season game, uh, Gallatin. It's a conference game. The GRC probably without a big upset, Milan over Putnam. The conference championship, which would be unexpected. Milan hasn't won a game this year. Um,
Yep.
that maybe is out of touch, but you
Yeah.
still want to finish with just the single loss right behind Putnam.
Absolutely.
But looking at district play, this game against Gallatin is a huge game, and it's a conference game, old rivalry, South Harrison and Gallatin. Um, if
Oh
you've
yeah.
had a chance, and I know you have, to look at Gallatin, maybe what you're expecting coming into Friday night's game.
Yeah. They got good athletes, and they're physical up front. They're not huge up front, but they get off the ball quick. They play very aggressive, and they're going to throw a lot of different stuff at us too. I've watched a couple games on them. They've never stayed in just one defense the whole game. They've always mixed it up. So, and we've seen that a lot throughout the years. So I expect our boys to be ready for that. But I mean, and I told them that, like, hey guys, like, don't get comfortable. These guys are not coming to lose this game. I promise you that. It's going to be their senior night. So if a lot of those guys going to be, their last game at home, I guess I don't know where they stand in districts, but senior night's always a big night. So I mean, it's senior night for us against Brookfield. I think that helped us honestly a little bit. Those guys were really ready to go for that one. I told them Gallatin is thinking the exact same thing against us, and they got some playmakers. Their quarterback can throw the ball. They got the sorry, the Sperry kid, who is, if you get him out in space and he gets the ball, man, he is dangerous. So we got to be locked in on defense. Offensively, they play very fast. Their linebackers don't sit and wait. They get downhill. They read the play really well. So, like you were talking about before, like our line's going to have to get up to linebackers this week. And who knows what they're going to come out in. So we got to be locked in. Got to have great communication up front, and just do our job. That's kind of been our thing, is do our job and have a sense of urgency. That's kind of been the word of the week for us, is have a sense of urgency in all aspects of the game. Special teams, offense, defense. Like I told some of our DBs and receivers, like, hey, you guys got to be able to flip a switch. You got to be able to go from offense to defense. You might drop a ball on offense, well, you can't let that carry over, to defense. Same thing, with Jet. If he makes a mistake on offense, he can't take that over on defense. And I think, as the years has gone on, we've done a really good job of getting over that. So we just got to be ready for a four-quarter ball game, be ready for a physical game, and just execute to a very high level.
Well, and it's one of those. Obviously, Gallatin's a really good team. Uh, they know conference wise, and I haven't looked at their district either, but they know conference wise that they don't have, right. They can't get there with losses to Putnam, with a loss to Brookfield. So sometimes playing a
Right.
team. So they're setting that. Honestly, I just pulled up their district. So they're North Platte, West Platte, and Gallatin are all 5-3. So this is a huge game for them
Okay.
for
Yeah,
district
absolutely.
standing, because there's three teams basically almost just Gallatin's setting third, but just a point and a half behind everyone else. But record
Right.
wise, right there. So for them, especially playing a Class Two team,
Yeah.
uh, you know,
Oh, yeah,
they
absolutely.
could shoot to the top of their district and have that one seed. So obviously, senior night they're playing for something, but you guys as well. You're not necessarily. And I was talking to Coach McFall yesterday at school. You're not necessarily locked into that 3 spot. The 2 spot is available. Should Cameron slip up, and they've got a tougher game this week than they've had in the past,
Hmm.
and lose that, you guys could slip up
Right.
to that too, and basically guarantee yourself, as long as you win the first district, 2 home games. So huge game this week. If you
Yeah.
take even the GRC part out of it, just for conference or just for district standings
Oh,
for both
absolutely.
teams, and again, they're a good enough team talent wise to reach up and get you if you
Yeah.
should make any mistakes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're definitely not looking over these guys whatsoever. We know that they got good athletes, and like you said, just from a district standpoint, like they have something to fight for too, and we do too. Like you said, we can, and we kind of talked about that after the Putnam game. Really, is like guys, we can only control what we can control from this point on. I said, Putnam is a very good team. They coached up really well, got good athletes. We can't control what they do. We can only control what we do, and I think we've done a good job of doing that up to this point. And we're still in control of what we can do. Yes, yeah, the conference championship, is probably out of our hands, but like you said, we still have something to play for, and we just got to go and execute and do the best job that we can do, and keep locked down. Just everyone's got to be on the same page, and that's what we talked a lot about our DBs that because they do like to mix it up. They run a lot of different things on offense. They run different quarterbacks, so we got to be ready for a lot of different things. So everyone's got to be on the same page. Linebackers got to be communicating, defensive line, and all that. With our different blitzes and stuff like that. So we got to be ready for everything. And then defensively, like I said, they like to mix it up too there. So. And they'll try some onsides on special teams, different things like that. So, like I said, all 3 phases, we just got to be locked in, ready to go.
All right. Well, Coach, I appreciate your time. Good luck versus Gallatin. And Andrew Sweat and I will be there
Absolutely.
broadcasting the game again this week, and look forward to talking about
Awesome.
postseason next week in districts. Thanks again, Coach.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks for having me.